Rome was not a city built on forgiveness. It was a city built on memory, ambition, and fear. And it never forgot those it perceived as threats. By the time Julius Caesar reached his early 20s, his name was already whispered in dangerous corners of Rome. He came from an old and respected family, though wealth had waned and influence was fragile. Still, there was something about him that unsettled powerful men. It was not his strength. It was not his army. It was his presence, quiet yet unyielding, a confidence that refused to be intimidated. At the center of this world stood Lucius Aurelius Sulla, the dictator of the Republic. Sulla had built his rule on terror. Enemies were executed, property seized, names erased from history. Rome obeyed him not because he was admired, but because he was feared. When Sulla looked at Caesar, he did not see a harmless young noble. He saw potential, and potential is dangerous when it cannot be contained. So Sulla delivered his command: divorce your wife Cornelia or leave Rome forever. To most men, the choice was survival. To Caesar, it was principle. Cornelia was not just his wife. She was the daughter of one of Sulla's enemies. To abandon her would be to admit weakness, to submit. Caesar refused. That single decision painted a target on his back. His quaeshood stripped away, his inheritance confiscated, allies vanished overnight, soldiers dispatched to hunt him. In Rome, there was no space between exile and execution. Caesar disappeared. There was no fanfare, no guards marching in formation, no grand farewell, just a solitary figure moving quietly through streets he might never see again. Behind him was Rome, the heart of the world. Ahead of him was uncertainty, danger, and death, constant and unyielding. He was not strong. In fact, Caesar was often sick. Recurring illness left him weak, exhausted, vulnerable. He had no army, no protection, no certainty. Yet he had something far more dangerous, a mind that refused to bow. Exile was not retreat. It was survival. Survival, Caesar understood, was the first step toward power. Sometimes the strongest move is knowing when not to fight. He traveled through hostile territories. Forests where hunters became the hunted, mountains where food was scarce, and danger waited behind every tree. He slept on cold, wet ground, moving constantly, every sound potentially betraying him, every stranger potentially a threat. This was not the life of a noble raised on privilege. This was the life of prey. Yet hardship did not break him, it refined him. Fear disciplined his mind. Hunger sharpened his perception. He learned to rely on awareness when he could not rely on allies. He learned to read human behavior in the absence of power, to understand the motives that guided men when no one was watching. Rome had taught him politics. Exile taught him reality. Eventually, Caesar reached the coast. Before him lay the vast, unpredictable Mediterranean, indifferent and infinite. The sea promised escape, the possibility of disappearing from the reach of Rome, the chance to survive, to rebuild, to endure. He boarded a small vessel, feeling a fragile relief. Perhaps fate had loosened its grip. But fate was not finished with Julius Caesar. On the open waters, a new force ruled. One that answered to no senate, no law, no empire. Pirates, they struck without warning. Fast ships, hardened men, violence honed through repetition. The attack was merciless. The crew was overwhelmed, weapons seized, Hyos sank in chain. Caesar was taken, disarmed. Surrounded by men who lived by strength alone, lawless men who understood only one measure of power force. To them, he was just another captive, a source of ransom. Valuable, perhaps, but replaceable. What they did not see was the most dangerous thing aboard their ship, a calm mind. Caesar was chained below deck, the iron biting into his wrists. His freedom stolen, his body restrained, his fate seemingly sealed. And yet, something was wrong. He did not beg, he did not plead, he did not despair. He laughed. The sound startled his captors. Prisoners cried. Some wailed in fear. Others screamed. Caesar smiled. As the pirates debated the ransom, Caesar listened. Then, correcting them as if they were incompetent subordinates, he said, calmly, "You are asking too little for me." The men stared. A prisoner had never spoken like this. He was calm, confident, almost amused. He had no weapons. He had no army. And yet, in that moment, he dominated the room. Muscle had captured his body. Intelligence had seized the space. He studied them. their hierarchy, their fears, their weaknesses. Who commanded respect? Who hesitated? Who obeyed? He spoke with authority, not as a captive, but as an equal, or better, as someone above them. He recited poetry. He told stories. He corrected their speech. He criticized their habits. When he wished to sleep, he ordered them quiet. When they laughed, he laughed louder. When they insulted him, he ignored it. Slowly, subtly, the power dynamic shifted. They guarded him, but they listened. They mocked him, yet they obeyed. They chained his hands, yet their minds leaned toward him. Days passed. Nights passed. By the fire beneath the stars, Caesar spoke casually, almost playfully. "When I am released," he said, "I will return and crucify every one of you." The pirates laughed. They thought it arrogance, a joke of a nobleman pretending to be strong. They did not understand the difference between humor and certainty. Caesar never joked about power. The ransom finally arrived. Gold exchanged hands. Chains fell away. Caesar was free. He thanked his captors politely and left. The pirates waved him off, still laughing, convinced the story had ended. They were wrong. Within days, Caesar raised forces. He borrowed ships. He gathered men. He hunted them down. The hunted became the hunter. Every word he had spoken in chains was fulfilled. Every threat he had voiced was realized. Not out of cruelty, but because authority must never be doubted. Power must always be respected. When the punishment was complete, Caesar did not revel. He did not boast. He moved on, calm, measured, and unstoppable. He had learned the ultimate truth: control is not taken by force alone. Control is taken through understanding, through observation, through intelligence. Strength impresses men. Fear silences them. Intelligence commands them. Caesar had mastered the mind. He had learned to dominate a room without raising his voice, to bend enemies without touching them, to remain unshaken when every advantage seemed lost. Rome had no idea what it had created. He turned his gaze toward the city that had rejected him, feared him, misjudged him. There was no hatred in his eyes, no bitterness, only clarity, confidence, and certainty. Rome had thought it removed a threat. It had sharpened one. And Julius Caesar spoke quietly, almost to himself, "I will return and I will rule Rome." The city, the republic, the world. It would soon learn that exile does not weaken a man. It shapes him. It teaches him patience, cunning, endurance. It sharpens his mind and turns fear into power. And so began the next chapter of Julius Caesar's life. A chapter written not with swords, but with thought, observation, and strategy. A chapter in which the young noble who had been chained by pirates became a man the world would remember forever.
Attack!
Victor! Ave!
We stand at the precipice of destiny. Of destiny. We have a plan. We must be prepared for what lies ahead.
What was that? I don't know. I think we should leave. You have my trust, for now. I know.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. What do you call a pirate's favorite letter?
Arr.
No, it's the sea.
Did you hear what happened to Caesar?
It's not safe to speak of such things here.
The northern route is most favorable.
Presumably. But it's also the most exposed.
Look, it's Caesar.
Advance on the camp, for Rome!
The gold is here.
We march at dawn. Remain vigilant. We have to find a way to stop them. They suspect nothing.
Good. The network grows.
See to it that this camp is in impeccable order by sundown. But out. Finest pomegranates this morning. I'll take 3.
Have you heard about the new shipment at the docks?
Yes, the prices are outrageous. Tomorrow we march at dawn. No excuses, no hesitation. All hands, battle stations. We approach the cliffs. Maintain speed and discipline. Kneel before Rome, pirate. Your reign ends here. I kneel for no man, least of all a pampered senator. Centurion, take the 10th Legion. Secure the bridge now! We cross the river here at dawn. The Gauls will not expect it. Our objective remains clear. We march at dawn, and will seize the pass before nightfall. The time is now. Is that Caesar?
He has returned.
Yes, it is him. We have faced many trials, and we have overcome them all. Our resolve will never waver.
Oh my. Oh my.
Prepare the fleet. We sail at dawn. I told the pirates, you follow my orders, and you will sail out of this storm and into a new life. Rome stands at a crossroads, and her destiny rests in your hands.